Good morning, everyone. It's Karina with Embrace Midwifery Care and Birth Center in Richmond, Virginia. We are having an amazing spring. It is gorgeous and green and lush and fertile and fabulous outside. So if you haven't gotten that far, take a chance and go for a walk. I got to recover this weekend and got to go to the beach, and I actually feel like a human being again this morning instead of just a birth center hobbit that I'm just living in the birth center. So I got to do some of that same thing myself. I have kind of an interesting subject this morning, and we're going to just touch on it. There's pages, right? We could write a book on things that I try to explain in 10 minutes. So forgive me things I miss. What we're trying to do is just give you blurbs and tips to help. So this morning, one of my favorite subjects, vaginas. So first of all, I work really hard with my moms. A vagina is just a body part, ladies. It is not any different, or we shouldn't be thinking about it much differently than anything else. It's something we need to care for properly. It's something we need to be proud of in a way, right? Like, our vaginas do big work. They bring babies into the world. They give us pleasure. They have purpose, and we need to care for them properly. Think of all the time we spend taking care of our hair. Speaking of hair, yours truly decided that a little purple in her hair would brighten things up around Embrace. So now I'm the wild midwife with purple hair streaks, which I love. So I think we need to get over kind of the shame and the embarrassment of vaginas. We need to talk about them in a healthy way. We need to take care of them properly. So part of the shame of our vaginas comes with the culture of our world here. But then what happens is women go into the store and they buy deodorants and douches and powders and things that just mask the odor, things that just cover up. And here's the thing, ladies, if your vagina is healthy, it should smell like a vagina. It should smell like a healthy, fertile vagina. Some people say like the ocean, a little wild and seaweedy, but it shouldn't have a bad odor. So if you have an odor, or you have itchy, cruddy discharge, or you have, something that isn't feeling clean and fresh and normal, you need to take care of that. Don't be ashamed. Let's go talk about it. Come in and see me. We'll fix it up. We'll make your vagina happy again, because that's what we do around here. So how do we keep our vaginas healthy on a day-to-day basis? So one thing that a lot of people, there's 50 strains of bacteria in the average vagina. 50 different bacteria that keep our vaginas healthy, good bacteria, flowers in our garden, so to speak. What we don't want are weeds. And in midwifery, in obstetrics, we talk a lot about group B strep, which is a normal bacteria for about 25 to 30% of the population. But we worry about it because it can increase the risk of respiratory infection in our newborns. So we talk about that bacteria a lot, but we don't talk about the other 50 strains that can be up in that vagina. Vaginas should have about the same pH as a tomato. They're pretty acidic normally. They're a self-cleaning machine. I know we've heard this before, but douches generally, unless there's something that we're treating, but you don't douche to keep your vagina clean. Your vagina cleans itself normally. The discharge you see is a combination of cervical mucus, of white blood cells, sloughing epithelial cells, and of the bacteria. Those are all normal parts of our vagina, normal parts of our cleaning system. Nothing you need to do about that. Besides wash with, are you ready for this? Water. Don't scrub your vulva. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I'm guilty too. We talk about vaginas. Vaginas are the inside part. So the part with hair, right? Some of us shave, some of us don't. But the part with hair are the labia majora. They're the skin. Inside the labia majora are pink lips, labia minora. Labia minora's job is to keep things kind of out of the innards, right? Like, it's a protective mechanism. They're pink, they're moist. Some are larger than others, some are smaller. All are normal, right? Some are uneven, some are even, some, there's just a wealth of, vulvas are beautiful. Like, if you haven't gone to the greatwallofvagina.com and seen the amount of variation in our vaginas, or in our vulvas, let me correct myself, it's phenomenal. We're all unique, just like we have unique eyes and unique hair and unique elbows, all unique. So vulvas are on the outside. Vaginas are on the inside. So how do we take care of our vulva skin? Water, clean washcloth or hands. Rinse it off, call it a day. So what I usually recommend is wash your body with soap. Whatever runs over you, runs over you. Wash your vagina with hands and water. Rinse well, call it good. If it needs more than that, you need to see me. You need to have something, something needs to be adjusted. You shouldn't need creams, powders, douches, special washes. Shouldn't need any of that. So on the outside, cotton panties are helpful. Going pantyless at night so things can breathe, helpful. Just water, no soaps, creams, or powders, helpful to keep things healthy. All of those things are just normal care for a healthy vagina, healthy vulva. Now, the internal part of our body, the vagina, the vaginal canal, vaginal vault, if you've had a hysterectomy, it sometimes sorry, Mom. When Mom had a hysterectomy, I wasn't a midwife yet, and we read her operative notes, and it said vaginal vault, and we just got the biggest giggle. Like, it was like the family jewels were in there. Like, her vaginal vault has, healed well. So we do have these space. Vaginas are magic. Stay with me here. Magic. They have rugae, which is almost like accordion skin. So the normal vagina, when it's relaxed, is about 3 to 4 inches deep at the most. And then when we have sex with somebody, it expands to encompass that. When we have babies, it expands to let a baby through. And then it goes back after sex to normal. After babies, pretty close to normal, pretty close to the original size and shape. Few changes, of course. But how do we keep the inside of our vagina healthy? So we do that by taking good probiotics and eating well. Sugar in our diet, lots of refined carbs, can increase the likelihood of a yeast infection. Antibiotics, and yeast infections are the curdy, itchy infection. So if you were to sweep in your vagina with a finger, lots of chunks on your finger, chunks in your panties, cottage cheese-like discharge, and itchy with yeast almost always. Over-the-counter Monistat medicine works for that, but we can keep it at bay by taking good probiotics, especially if we're taking a course of antibiotics, keeping our sugars low. Yeast thrives on sugars and simple carbs, so we monitor that. And then I always recommend, and this is an old remedy, I always recommend on the flip side of treating a yeast infection, so there's natural ways we can treat yeast infections, and come and see me, we can talk about a plethora of different ways to treat yeast infections. But plain yogurt put in your vagina, about a tablespoonful, put on a clean pair of panties because you're going to be oozy for a while. I usually recommend it at night. It can help repopulate the vaginal flora and help stabilize your flora again. So even if you have to treat a yeast infection with something over the counter, you can also repopulate that flora. So you can take that good bacteria orally. We have some recommended probiotics that are specific for vaginal health, and then you can also use it vaginally, the yogurt. We have lots of bacteria that can kind of take hold and cause problems. So when that happens, we need to take care of things. The issue in my world is with a woman, first of all, we want happy vaginas. Bar none, a vagina needs to be a happy little camper, right? Like, no woman wants to have to deal with issues. Nobody wants to be itchy, funky, smelly, problematic. So we want to take good care of it. But in midwifery, we know that some of those infections are linked to preterm rupture of membranes. we need to talk about that. We need to make sure moms are treated appropriately if we're having problems so that we can keep those babies in for the right amount of time. So we screen here for those infections, not just transmitted diseases. We're not even going to really touch on that, chlamydia and gonorrhea, but things like bacteria vaginosis, which causes that fishy odor after sex. So every time I hear a man make a joke about a woman's odor, I always want to say, like, that bacteria doesn't cause us too much trouble until y'all get up in there, right? That's when the semen joins that bacteria, is when we get that strong fishy smell. That's an easy fix. Women fight with this issue over and over and over for years. I talk to women who are like, I've had it for 3 years. I take all the medicines they prescribe. It comes back. It comes back. The reason is every time your vaginal pH changes, it gets another foothold. Semen changes your pH. Look, like all good women, we have hair ties, right? Semen changes your pH. Sickness changes your pH. Your menstrual blood changes your pH. Your diet changes your pH. So if we do not have our pH right, we can get that bacteria to kind of get a foothold, to get started. I'm going to tell you an amazing secret for BV, because this is the shameful bacteria, not the like I said, we're not talking sexually transmitted diseases. We're just talking about a vaginal infection. But it's the one that women have the most, I think, internal shame about, because it ties into that feeling of being dirty, of smelling, of not being healthy. Google hydrogen peroxide and bacteria vaginosis. Even the medical community has acknowledged, even though they won't tell you this for the most part, that hydrogen peroxide is a precursor to lactobacillus, which is the healthy bacteria. It will sweep out that bacteria that's causing the problem, and there's many bacteria that can cause vaginosis. It's not just one like we used to think. We used to say it was Gardnerella, and then it used to be called Haemophilus. Now we're just saying, you know what, there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them. It doesn't matter. So we can do vaginal washes, not douches, with peroxide, repopulate with yogurt, and it's a cure, ladies. It's a cure. We can fix that, and then we can know what to do immediately if it comes back. Let that shame go away. Talk to your providers. Send me a message. Come in and see me. We can take care of that. But the health of our vaginas is critical. There's one other thing I want to point out, and I actually was taught this not too long ago. I had never thought about this. But as women, we are intimate with the men in our life, the man in our life, the woman in our life. They do life. They touch doorknobs and shopping carts, and if they're men in particular, they touch their penises to pee all day long, right? And then they come to bed, and maybe they washed their hands, which they should before they're intimate with us, but they've transferred that bacteria of the day to their genitals. And when they're intimate with us, hang on, Christy, I'm going to answer that. When they're intimate with us, they transfer the world's bacteria into our vaginas and cause us some of these problems. So with no judgment or shame or worry that men are dirty either, because we need to take that away, we also need to know that the day's bacteria does not belong in our vagina. So our men need to freshen up before they come to bed with us. Come to bed damp, baby. I want to be, I want it to be fresh. And it's about safety, and particularly in pregnancy, we want good vaginal flora. Florida. Maybe I'm on the way to vacation. So Christy, yes, I think that peroxide is absolutely safe in pregnancy. I think that it's safer to use peroxide. There's been no study that tells us it's not. Safe for pregnant women is always this crazy liability, right? God forbid you do anything and something happens to the pregnancy. It's always the mother's guilt that we carry, and that's a whole nother subject. But yes, peroxide is considered safe. What we recommend is 30 mLs in a syringe or a bulb. We do not power wash the vagina. We literally lay with our butt on a little bit of an angle. We just kind of let it run into the vagina. We hold our vagina, our vulva is closed. We let that kind of froth and bubble, let it wash out. And we do that 3 to 7 nights in a row, depending on how established the bacteria vaginosis is. And then we repopulate with yogurt. We have a protocol here that I've written for it as well. That's it in a nutshell. There's all sorts of other little tips. But yes, Absolutely. So here's the thing, when we talk about natural remedies or natural things, versus a chemical, monostat is safe in pregnancy, but again, peroxide, pretty harmless. Um, Yogurt, harmless. We don't have big, you're welcome. We don't have big risk factors with that. We do not want to power wash our vaginas. We don't want to like douche with any kind of like, we're not trying to wash out mucus plugs or anything like that. We just want to fill the vagina, let it expand while it's full of peroxide so all the little cracks and crevices get clean, rinse it out, and it works pretty well. So let's talk about this in recap. Healthy diets, low sugar, lots of good vegetables, proteins, low simple carbs, good probiotics, particularly if you've had antibiotics or you're pregnant. A good probiotic can help keep that flora normal and natural and healthy. If you have problems, you take care of it soon. Women should have zero issues around their vagina. If they have an issue, they need to come to me so we can figure that out and fix it. Make sure that you're keeping, again, to say this as a provider, I don't want this to come off shameful or guilt. It's just the world. We live in the world. When we come to be intimate with our partners, we want to be intimate in a way that we are not transferring the bacteria of the world between us. And make sure that you're not scrubbing, douching, changing that pH with the products that you're using in your personal hygiene care. I've seen YouTube videos where women proudly say that they douche every morning in the shower, they wash that out, and they are clean. That is the worst thing you can do. You're ruining your bacterial flora, and you are ripe for a disaster, ladies. Do not do that. Eat good probiotics. That's how we keep our vaginas healthy and clean and odor-free and and working well for us, right? Because that's what we want. Because ultimately, you know, we use our vaginas on a regular basis, and I want mine to be a happy vagina. And I have no shame about that, obviously. Christina doesn't have a lot of shame about a lot of things. And I think that that's so that when you walk into my office, if you have a question, we're going to talk with a straight face, and we're going to talk like real people, and we're going to get it figured out so that we can have you be healthy and happy, whether you're pregnant or whether you're a woman who's doing life. So if you have questions about this, I'm happy to answer them either by email or on a further Facebook Live. Come and see us. We're doing tours today at 1 o'clock. We just had a beautiful, oh my God, we had the most beautiful birth here the other day. So it is just, it's popping around Embrace lately. We are busy, and we would be happy to show you around as well. Rosalie Avila, she just joined us. I have to say, shout out. She was my RN birth assistant in Missouri. She is now in school in Michigan to become a CNM and an FNP, and I'm begging her to come join the Embrace family when she finishes up. So please, like, hound her for that. Like, friend her on Facebook and like, we need you, we need you. But her and I did the birth together, and then we had like such a great girls' day, and I feel like a new woman. I got to kind of let my hair down, which I don't do very often. So I'm thankful for friends, and I'm thankful for you guys out there. Come and say hi. We had our anniversary yesterday. It's been 1 year for Embrace. We ended up with 28 babies in our first year, which I think is amazing, and amazing statistics, and we're going to talk about that in a future Facebook Live. You guys have a great spring day, and I will see you around the corner somewhere. Bye-bye.